the day ahead for Shabbos. We'll continue on page 131 in the Chayinu. This refutes a comment we just said about distractions in the middle of prayer, of desires or foreign thoughts. This refutes a common error. When a foreign thought occurs to some people during prayer, they mistakenly conclude their prayer is worthless. For if one prayed properly and correctly, then no foreign thoughts would arise in their mind, they believe. Like, must be something wrong with my prayer. They would be correct if there would be but one soul, the same soul that prays, being also the one that thinks and ponders on the foreign thoughts. Understand? If you're one soul, one psyche, then you pray, you want to pray, it should pray. And how do you mix in the opposite of foreign thoughts? And that means it must mean the prayer is not so good. But the fact is, there are two souls, each waging war against the other person's mind, each of them wishing to desire to rule and pervade the mind exclusively. All thoughts of Torah and the fear of God come from the godly soul. All thoughts of worldly matters derive from the animal soul, except that the godly soul is clothed within it. This is, to use an example, like a person who's praying with devotion. While facing him there stands a wicked heathen who chats and speaks to him in order to confuse him. So he's imagine a pagan guy who doesn't like what you're praying is trying to annoy you, to stop you from praying. Surely the best advice in this case would be to answer him neither good nor evil, but rather to act as though he were deaf without hearing, and to comply with the verse from King Solomon in Proverbs. Answer altan ksil kivalte. Don't answer a fool according to his folly. Pentishveloi gamata, lest you become like him. So too, when foreign thoughts enter the person's mind during prayer, he should answer nothing at all, nor should he engage in argument against the foreign thought. For, back to the sports metaphor, he who wrestles with a filthy person is bound to become soiled himself. Because again, we're comparing the fight of the Yetzer Hara like wrestlers. The Nefesh Bahamis is wrestling with the Nefesh Lakis, godly soul to the animal soul. Rather, instead, he should pretend not to know or hear the foreign thoughts that occurred to him, and should dismiss them for his mind and strengthen still more power of his concentration. So focus on the good and ignore the distraction. If, however, he finds it difficult to dismiss them because they distract his mind with great intensity, sometimes it's hard, Hashem. Then what do? You should humble your soul before God and supplicate him in his thought to have compassion upon him in his abundant mercies, like a father who takes pity on his children who stem from his brain. And so should God be compassionate on his soul, which derives from the mind of God, so to speak, as we said. The divine soul is a spark of God. To rescue it from the turbulent waters, this he should do for his own sake, since truly his people is part of the Lord. In other words, you cry to your Father in heaven, help me stop this bombardment distracting me.
Amen.
So the bottom line is of yesterday's, of Fridays and Shabbos, his Tanya is that you have to understand the way you work, and then you can look at your thoughts accordingly. You have a wrestling match between the animal soul and the divine soul going on. Sometimes, when you're doing something good, that's specifically when the divine soul wants to come and topple you. So it's not a sign that you're bad, it's a sign of that you're doing something good. So what do? Try to, step one, ignore it and do more good. If that doesn't work, daven to Hashem as a child to the Father in heaven to say, help me not fall here. To share one cool story in the Steinsaltz Tanya, a Jew came to his rabbi in the shtetl and said, I have an issue. I indeed cheated the local paritz, the local duke, the landowner, in a business venture, and I'm afraid that this all-powerful landowning duke is going to realize my deception and punish me. So the rabbi says, you have nothing to fear. The paritz, the landowner, he's a Gentile, and he doesn't pray the Amidah prayer like we do, and therefore he's never going to have the opportunity to have foreign thoughts to remind himself that you cheated him. It's like a cynical. He hasn't davened, so he's not going to have time to revisit it as much. So.